We are here now at Dr. Morbid's Haunted House.
Right.
It's very haunting. Now, I am not allowed, when this opens up, I'm not allowed to go through this fine haunted house because I take Lipitor. I have a heart condition. You will be frightened to death. So I cannot go through.
You can't.
I can't because a weak heart, a Lipitor, bad, high cholesterol.
I forgot you are on Lipitor.
I am on Lipitor.
I forgot about that.
So this would not be as desperately as I would love to go through and see all of the scares.
Right.
I fear I will not come out alive because it is just that frightening,
I'll
especially for young folks and people who have heart conditions.
I'll have to do that in the summer. I wasn't in this one.
No.
This was the location of the Hollywood Wax Museum or something, where they had Archie Bunker and Rocky and a few other ones. But now it's all scares.
It's all scares.
Right.
Because if you don't get enough scares at the House of Frankenstein, you come here and you get more scares because here we have real people guiding you through on a tour of terror. Here we are again, once again at Dr. Morbid's Haunted House, and we're here with Christina. Christina? Oh, I missed the A at the end. And she's one of the workers here. And can you tell us a little about Dr. Morbid's Haunted House?
We've got a whole story that they tell you when you go back there. There's some fun little surprises. In the beginning, we have Bartleby. He's one of our favorites.
People jump out at you as you go through the items, so
yes,
you want to make sure that
jump out at you.
want to make sure you don't have a heart condition.
Yes, we have a list of
You do have your list.
rules over there. Although I do take the time to tell people everything that's on that list, but sometimes they don't like to listen. I actually, as a cashier here, have a fun little couple gadgets that I use on guests as they enter to kind of give them a little preview, if they have kids, to make sure that, they can handle it. We have our friendly little box over there and some noises that happen outside. So sometimes it draws people in and sometimes it, it leaves them headed for the hills.
Yeah, I do. I am particularly the first item on the list. That if you have any medical conditions affected by being frightened or exposure to darkness, strobe lights, black lights, or fog machines, enter at your own risk. Well,
There's nothing about Lipitor, Dave,
there's
so I
nothing
think
about
you're okay.
But, I like to reduce my, possibility of heart attack or stroke. So I take Lipitor and avoid haunted houses at all costs.
So this one is like based on a house. It's like different themed rooms. Is that what happens?
Yeah, pretty much. Basically, it's the story of Willius Morbid. He was a mad wax maker. It kind of somewhat ties into Frankenstein that way. And basically, visitors that come to Lake George, tourists, and sometimes residents tend to go missing when they go in and they don't come out. So that's,
And what would be the difference between this and the House of Frankenstein?
Here, there are actual live actors that do jump out at you here, although they don't touch you. That's, one of the questions that we do get from a lot of people, and we have to pinky promise them.
I've been to a few places that where you're not supposed to touch.
Yeah.
And if you do, you get in trouble. You don't want to be doing that.
Yes. So as long as you don't touch them, they will not touch you. The House of Frankenstein, however, is more movie wax figures, like creatures from different horror movies and different things that have played out through history. So, and there's no live actors in there. It's just wax figures behind the window. Some of them do move, however, and there's some fun little surprises in there for you.
So those are more the classic characters throughout, like Dracula, Frankenstein. I guess would be Phantom of the Opera, maybe.
Yep, we do have Phantom.
Not King Kong, though.
Not anymore.
King Kong is
King
down.
Kong's in the back of the truck,
He's not.
heading on back to Albany.
King Kong will be with us holding the address where you'll write in for your free movie tickets.
That's right, and as I've said a million times, movies are expensive.
Right.
So if you can get some free tickets, it works to your advantage.
A lot of the ones are still the original ones, right, from when it opened, and plus some new ones.
There's a couple new ones, there's some old ones, but Frankenstein is one of my personal favorites. I've lived in Queensbury, Lake George area my whole life, and every year I have to go to Frankenstein at least once. And even though I work there, I went through a couple times.
Apparently I have to go through again soon because last time I went, King Kong was in there, and he hasn't been in there for a few years, I guess.
No, he hasn't had in there for
This summer I'm coming up and going through.
Do I have to go with you?
You'll have to come.
Well, I hope is there like instructions like this one over at House of Frankenstein?
Not written ones, but normally
because you
the
don't have-
cashier. Yes, it's a little bit less.
Right. Because
You
you don't have
know,
people
to go
jumping
by.
out at you.
Right.
So, okay, maybe I'll survive that one. Maybe I'll go
Yes.
through that one.
Okay.
So I won't be.
I'll hold your hand through this one.
Well, yeah.
I will.
Thank you.
That's
I appreciate
usually
that.
the one that we suggest to people if they're iffy about here. We say if you can make it through Frankenstein, you might be able to make it through here, but if you don't like Frankenstein, you probably won't like it very much here.
Well, I
It's a
think
bit
I can
scary.
handle it, but I have a weakened heart.
Right.
This is not good.
What are some of your favorite exhibits over at Frankenstein?
Well, I will say that walking through the black hole first thing in the morning is not one of my favorite things to do, but towards the end of the day, it gets a little bit fun to go through there every once in a while. However, I really like the jungle because we have a couple hidden creatures in there, maybe possibly. You have to have an eye to spot our creature from the Black Lagoon in there.
Was there a jungle? There was a spot where you'd walk through and the floor was kind of soft. Is
Yeah,
that still in there?
That's the Lost Jungle. That is
Oh.
the...
You know what the black hole was? It was like on the $6 Million Man when they went through the alien tunnel, and the Universal tour would go through there. You're kind of like a little woozy and wavy.
It makes you feel like you're spinning.
Yeah.
The torture chambers are fun too to
Yeah.
walk through. That's one of my favorite ones.
I have one of
Lots
those in my basement.
You do.
Yes.
The torture chamber you'd see on two sides. Right when you walk in and you go around and you see the other side. That was also very gruesome.
It is a little bit graphic.
Oh, that's what we like.
And Frankenstein is still in there. You press the button and he comes up.
Yep.
And the Phantom of the Opera.
Boy, Ed, we should be interviewing you about this. You seem to know everything as well.
I was through there many times as a kid, I know. Well, but except recently when I have to go back this year. Anything else?
Well, we can't forget the famous Frankenstein that walks around outside.
Oh, yes.
He's a well-known trademark. Lots of people have lots of pictures with him from all over the world, I would say, probably.
But on a
Those
very
pictures.
warm day, he would lose significant weight in that outfit.
Frankenstein is cold-blooded, Dave. He can withstand the
Really?
heat. Yes.
What is he, a reptile? I mean,
Well,
He's
the
undead.
undead.
Right.
He's the
pieces
undead.
of human, though. I don't know. Well, okay, I'll go with that.
Yes, we all
So then I
enjoy
shouldn't
seeing-
feel bad for him, is what
No.
you're saying.
No, he's
No.
okay.
Not at all.
All right. I should offer him
He probably has the easiest out of anybody.
Okay. Then I shouldn't be offering him a bottle of Aquafina as I go by.
No.
All right.
You might appreciate that, but
So there you have it. Any other questions, Dave?
I do not have any other questions.
I think we covered everything. So you want to come up here this summer when it opens?
Not just this summer. You want to
Well, every summer,
Every
but,
summer.
but when it opens in April, I believe.
That's it. Yeah, that's another thing. I did want to know, what are the dates of... do they differ at all?
it does, I think, depending on the weather and when other things start opening up around town, right? So, yes.
I think it's April on the weekends, then in May it goes to.
Yes, we are. In the beginning of the spring, we are open on weekends only, and then as summer progresses, we are open all week, and then it goes back to
Weekends like through October, maybe?
Yep, our last day normally is Halloween, but we had a pretty good run this season, and we stayed open until the first week in November. We did another weekend after Halloween weekend.
So there you have it, folks. Make sure you show up to Lake George, New York, House of Frankenstein, and then work your way down to Dr. Morbid's for some extra scares, if that's not enough for you.